Hi guys, it's Cherry and I am glad to be back, and just in time to show off Minecraft's latest snapshot. And everything within this new drop we are going to check out today. Sit tight as we dive straight into this update. It's actually pretty exciting. Maybe like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably seen that Minecraft Spring Drop is going to bring us some new updated variants of some of the longest residents we've had in game. We'll get to that in a second, as that's probably the bit that everyone's familiar with. But I actually wanted to start with one of Minecraft's newest mobs. This update is actually going to change where we find camels. So instead of finding one in a desert village and securing the one super rare camel, we actually are going to be able to find camels just naturally wandering around the desert now. This means finding as many camels as you have fingers is actually really easy, now that you don't have to find a village. If I'm honest, I'm not sure how I feel about this change. I like it, but I don't want to. While it takes away the factor of the camel that just made it super cool and rare, at least it won't just be my mate that has the only camel in our world back at base. So I do like that I can just go and get one from any desert now, but it definitely takes away that special factor of the camel. The next animal of interest that I actually want to go and check out in today's video is the Mooshroom. We're getting a brand new variant of that too. It's not quite as simple as it sounds, and it's pretty wild. But to get to this cool mellow brown version of this Mooshroom, I must say it's very aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, to get this variant, you'll either have to breed 2 variants with the chances of getting a 1 out of 1,024 chance of it being brown, or you can get one hit with a strike of lightning, which is a bit savage, but it gets the job done. The best way to do this on survival is to have a small pen and a lightning rod. Something I wanted to mention was how cool these particles coming off the mycelium are too. It really adds a mystical vibe to where it just kind of felt a little bit drab before. Speaking of particles, all leaf blocks now have a chance of generating falling leaves, and we obviously have the new leaf litter, which we can find within the forest, dark forests and wooded badlands. The minor details like adding texture and tiny little bits of effects to the floor and things is really what is going to start bringing Minecraft kind of to that next level, in my opinion. You know, those basic things that you don't really think about day to day. However, I do believe that there is a fine line between overdoing something and adding textures and adding, you know, a little extra. There is definitely a fine line between those two things, and it'll be interesting to watch them walk that. I absolutely do love that they took those falling leaves from the cherry blossom biome and just kind of ran with it. You know, they saw that they had something good there and was like, let's just do this everywhere. The falling leaves from the jungle trees is such a vibe, and they're so vibrant. The acacia leaves falling in the wind just adds a little something to the biome. It's super subtle, but it does take away from some of that dullness of this arid biome. Something that bedrockers have that Java users don't is that when it snows, any trees in the area in a snowy taiga biome, the leaves will turn white, and I'm super curious to know if the falling leaf particles will also be white like the trees, because that'd be pretty sick. Shame us Java users will never know though. The plain old boring oak forests are no longer 2. Between the fresh falling leaves, the dried litter, and with our new wolf type running around, it all reminds me that the old Minecraft is pretty far behind us now. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. I suppose it depends on how you feel about it. Speaking of wolves, we can also find that this update is bringing us wolf personalities. When a wolf spawns in your world, it gets a random personality, which is only differentiated by sound. The personality types are classic, big, cute, angry, sad, grumpy, and puglin. I love that the dogs have different personalities, and I thought this was a super cool touch. I've made a quick list of how they all sound, and here's them in no particular order. We have the angry wolf. This is the big wolf. The classic wolf, so the one that we've always had. The cute wolf. The grumpy wolf. Puglin wolf, and finally the sad wolf. I love that all of the dog personalities are sort of like remnant of real dogs we have in life. We have the Puglin wolf, which is obviously meant to represent the pug within real life, and I like the fact that the big wolf kind of sounds similar to that of like a Cane Corso or a Newfoundland or a Burmese mountain dog or something, and the cute wolf sounds a little bit like a Pomeranian or something like that. So I really like that touch that they've kind of taken dogs from the real world and yeah, added them in and added samples of those in, which is kind of cool. Probably have like a cool counter for how many things I think are cool. Speaking of mobs and Minecraft animals, the spawn eggs have all been updated and they look wicked. They are much easier to differentiate between and just generally really cool. Whoever designed these did a really good job. It's reminding me of like the old 90s game creatures, or maybe kind of like the Subnautica eggs. Moving on, while we're chatting about mobs, let's check out the cold and warm variants of all our new mobs. So our cold cows, cold chickens and pigs can all be found within the windswept hills, windswept gravelly hills or forest. They can also be found in every form of the taiga biome and old growth biomes. The cold variant of the cow is hands down the best. I love him, he's so good. The cold chickens are cute, but they kind of remind me of chicken run, and the pigs are cool too. As for the warm variants of these animals, they can be found in the following biomes: the savanna and all its other terrains, the jungle, sparse and bamboo jungles. You can also find these warm variants in every type of badlands terrain. The warm cow spins me out a little bit though, he's like too smooth. The warm chicken's cool though. Sheep colours also change depending on their biome. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't interest me, but if you're curious to know, they come in common and uncommon colours depending on the biome they're in. You can find it out on the Minecraft wiki, but it's between black, grey, brown and white, so nothing crazy, and you can also still find a pink sheep within, you know, wherever rare places you find it. It's just something that I'm not really going to touch on. It's not really that interesting, and I mean, if you guys are really interested about the sheep, go check out the wiki. Something that is crazy are the changes made to the Wandering Trader though. I'm super excited to touch on this. He's improved prices, more trade options, and finally the ability to buy basic supplies from players, like water, milk buckets, and you'll be able to buy hay bales and baked potatoes. This is so handy and something that's probably going to make the Wandering Trader a lot less hated in the community. There has also been a pretty big overhaul for cartographers, but I'll probably touch on the villager updates in another video, as I have a feeling they're all going to get overhauled pretty soon. One of the last things I'm excited to show off, all of our new flora and flowers, starting with the cactus flower. These are just so cute. I love that they add a little variation to the cacti, and these can be put anywhere. They don't just have to go on something natural. You can put them on any block you want. You'll also be able to spot patches of long and short dry grass out here in the Badlands and the desert. I also noticed an ambiance out here, kind of like a slight desert rustling, almost a sand in the breeze, which I just absolutely love that they're adding more ambiance here and throughout Minecraft. I'm not entirely sure which block this ambiance is attached to though. All of this new flora can be obtained using a pair of shears. This is also the case for one of my new favourite ground coverings, the firefly bush. The cool thing about this is that the more of them that you have, the more particles you'll see in the air. Between these, the new falling leaves, and all of the flora from the Pale Garden, Minecraft nightlife is really coming together. We've also got new bushes and a new type of flower called wildflowers. They come in the same form as cherry petals, but in yellow, and they're super cute. The final update I wanted to touch on is Lodestone. Now, if you're not familiar with this block, Lodestone can be placed and used to alter the directions of which all compasses point to. This used to be pretty hard to get, but now that we have a brand new recipe for it, instead of having to get one of the hardest things in the game, never right, instead we can just use iron. So that's pretty kind from the devs. I'll probably actually use them now. And with this, I think I've covered pretty much everything in this update. There is just so much to enjoy and soak in. While it's kind of small at the moment, especially compared to the end update we were all hoping for, it's definitely a very cool step in the right direction. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something from it. You can find more of me on Twitch, Insta and Discord. I've been offline for a month, so sorry to the Discord and Twitch. I'm sorry guys. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. Yeah guys. Till next time guys, it's been Cherry. We are out.